What's a stereotype about men you can't help but silently agree with? Some men's entire lives are based around getting the approval of women. Nothing he actually does is for himself or his own happiness. It's literally all to get and keep a woman. We don't grow up, we just get bigger toys. Every man I know still loves Lego. I'm driving the truck I had on my bedroom wall at age 12. We all want a flamethrower. Monster trucks are still cool. And I'd give 3 fingers on my left hand for a real lightsaber. If I am ever in danger, like a car crash or something like that, I would expect a man to step in and help me. And based on so many videos on our humans being bros, I am not wrong. That we typically want a woman to come take care of us if we are sick. We do dumb, dangerous shit cause we think it's cool. Riding bikes off makeshift ramps, cliff jumping, etc. etc. Can't say I don't do the same though. 3. For us, doing nothing is doing something. I saw a video that was how to get your man to do things, and it was a woman standing on a stepladder trying to hang a plant from the ceiling using power tools. Once the whirling started, a few seconds later the man showed up and didn't say anything but just took it and hung it himself. Imaging in his head he said, "Get down, you're gonna hurt yourself." But whatever that video is. But put into words is my reply to your question, tears of joy. As men get older, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain friendships with other men. Men being low maintenance. That's not to say I want men to all be unhygienic, filthy bastards. But at the same time, I think being low maintenance is a blessing in disguise, as it doesn't turn beautifying yourself into an unhealthy obsession. I had a somewhat of a metrosexual high maintenance phase back in 2018. It was whatever. But looking back at it, it definitely taught me self-love. We are relatively simple, complex at times, but mostly simple. That we're babies when sick. That the male best friend is not to be trusted because he's never just a friend. Sex and love are 2 very different concepts to man. Men are horny as hell. Men are the one threat to women. That doesn't mean the majority of men are a threat to women. I would presume it's a very small that are an active threat, but women are correct to err on the side of caution when interacting with unknown men. The vast majority of us would live in a rather barebones living situation if it were not for women. This is more commonly phrased as, men would live in a cardboard box if it weren't for women. Personally, I don't think I would ever own more stuff than could fit in an SUV and a small trailer. Men are treated as guilty until innocent, and women as innocent until guilty. Sometimes being too masculine is necessary. Does not mean it's right to be so stuck up, but for society to properly function, there has to be those few. Men can entertain themselves for hours with the silliest things. That pen over there? It's a rocket ship. That sewing kit in your cabinet? Field survival kit that you desperately need to survive in the jungle where you just crash landed. That hair clip your wife GF left laying about? Bear trap. And so on forever. Some men are creepy, and it's better safe than sorry. We're simple beings. My therapist told me men are less self-aware, and I think it's kind of rude to say all men are that. Also kept trying to convince me to get married as well as become a 911 operator. I don't see her anymore, lol. Men are more likely to commit violent crimes. If I'm walking down the street at night, I'm much more likely to take a detour to avoid getting close to unknown men. Bring a man to the beach. Give him a shovel, and he's gonna dig a massive hole simply because. Similarly, bring a man to the beach and walk by another man digging a massive hole. The first man will stop, observe, comment, and oftentimes want to join in the digging of said massive hole. This thread is bussin'. We're shits to women. From outward abuse to discreetly leering. That competitive alpha male complex is ridiculous, but it's built into our DNA. I think Bill Burr said that basically all men are 12-year-old boys deep down. The old strong and masculine stereotypes of men today are mostly fat, pathetic and lazy. Haha, the dislikes, no wonder we hold it quiet tears of joy. Men are like little boys. Yes. They are pretty easy to keep happy. Feed them. Let them play video games. And when they are upset, stick a female nipple in their mouth. Pretty simple. None of them. Yes, stereotypes are around because of some reason, but there is almost always an exception to the rule or the one case that is different. We're too simpy, unfortunately. We think with our dicks even more than women may think. They want sex more than women. I'll admit, we are sometimes better than the other sex. All the young Kyle bros obsessing over their perfect AR builds should make sure they can run up a flight of stairs without losing their breath first. We really don't care about your makeup because you'll honestly be attractive anyways. At best, we will pretend to appreciate the amount of time you put into applying cosmetics. That we often don't do anything to help ourselves and just moan about it instead. While there are some of us who deviate from that, we're not the norm, and usually a man will suffer and not actively do anything to help himself and complain how bad things are. If more men decided they didn't want to suffer anymore and do something about it, there would be less lonely and suffering men out there. We are simple creatures. All we want from our significant partner is quality time, physical touch, and words of affirmation. Silently nothing. I will loudly agree with my sisters and women friends when they say men suck. Because in their experience and my own, most of them do. People in general suck though. So maybe that doesn't quite count. We shouldn't be too emotional. Man colds. We all do hate feminism to some sort of degree. We're always hungry. They have penises. Bigger dicks are better. Definitely the one about men being. I think about that one all the damn day. They don't pay attention to anything their significant other says. Men are vain and shallow. They don't have the same connection to philosophy and emotion the way women do. You'll never find a male writer at the same level of depth as Sylvia Plath, for example. Being low maintenance and that doing nothing is something. It's fantastic. My girlfriend was worried the first time meeting my guy friends cause we have crazy stories, but all we did was sit near each other with a show on with an occasional conversation here and there. Anytime she heads to a friend's house there's always something going on, but she appreciates going to my friend's house time to time cause we get to be with people and not do much but still be around. Action movies, for example Fast and Furious, have a greater effect on us. Man flu sneezing face. Stick big, stick good, big stick mean live longer, walk better. I would say men have road rage. That some men are much more childish than women. Not all of them, but more. You should know when you're acting like a boy and a man. That they want financial superiority. Men are more romantic. That we can't be emotional. I mourned when my mom passed. I cried. I shed tears of joy when my son was born. I teared up when I won a state championship. We don't always need to be a rock. That we are too competitive. Men only want one thing. Yep, it's literally what we are programmed to do. Procreate. Like, all of them. That's why they're stereotypes. Suffering in silence.